Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. This is Patricia the Mask Poet coming live to you. I don't know if anyone's going to come in the room. Honestly, I don't even know if I have the live set right on here. But anyway, I'm coming back. Um, just want to say, hope everyone is having a blessed day. It is Wednesday, and it's Wednesday, June 23rd, 2026. And I am still getting it together from that country style cook off. Got my scarf on to hold these braids down a little. But I said that I was going to come back and do a little poetry. And I'll do the shoes of the church at the end of this live. Um, what I do, want to get back to actually reciting some of my poetry instead of just talking a lot on here. Get some of my poetry works noticed. And I just wanted to say, we all go through things and we have to forgive. I think I cited this one time before about forgiveness, but I think it's warrant to do it again. So this poem that I wrote this poem. When did I write this? Because I always put when I wrote something. I wrote this July 22nd, 2015. Now, mind you, I have to say these things to myself now because July 22nd, 2015, my youngest son was still alive. And 2 months later, at the age of 36, he was found dead in Atlanta, Georgia. So now, as I read this, a lot of times we hear things, we write things, we tell others, but we also have to tell ourselves, excuse me, those same things. As my t shirt said, a reason for hope. First Peter 3:15. So here we go. Growing up as a kid, we always heard the word forgive. Forgive for what? I used to say. I just got kicked and had to face the bully the next day. My teen years, my heart was broke. I didn't want to forgive. I wanted to slap and choke. Isn't it good as we mature? God reaches for us to come through the forgiveness door. It's good to know it's not for the other person, but mostly for you. Forgiveness allows you to have peace and not get stressed out and feel down and blue. There are times none of us wants to forgive. We only felt our disappointment, plans, and hurt. But look what Christ did so that we could live. Okay, I'm gonna go on this side. I'll stay here. Trying to turn my notes over. Christ forgave us for all our filthy and disappointing sins. Once he forgives, the slate is wiped clean. No more loss, but wins. Forgiveness doesn't come overnight. Believe me, it comes with growth, faith, and just wanting to get things right. Forgive your enemies and everyone, I say. Don't let unforgiveness ruin your night or day. Sure, they may have broke your heart, said this stay, but instead went apart. Sure, they said misleading things about you. Forgive them. God will bring you through. Forgive is good for your health. With forgiveness, you can keep sadness and depression on upon the shelf. Forgiveness? Are you kidding me? Yes, forgive. Jesus forgave you that you may live. Hoping you like that poetry and that poem written by me, Patricia the Mask Poet, called Forgiveness. We all have to forgive. Please forgive this knot on this bow on my scarf, but trying to hold the braids down. Remember, forgive. It is not easy, but trust me, in the long run, you'll feel better. And I'm asking God to work on me with that because I know someday I will have to stand and forgive the ones who did what they did to my son. So I'm a work in progress as well as you. So there's a thing that's also people are walking around with low self esteem. And I just wanted to put this poem out here that I wrote, Low Self Esteem. Don't look like I put the date on here, but it was written in 2024. And it's called Self Esteem. Most people who have low self esteem don't know it. If you get your feelings hurt easily, often feel guilty, angry, or unhappy, become upset when you're criticized, self esteem is lacking, it's time you realize. Feeling comfortable if people don't like you, feeling uncomfortable if people don't like you, walking with your head down low because you just don't know what to do, finding it hard to say no, carrying yourself loose and running around like a hoe, having painful feelings of unworthiness at times, believing false trials and beliefs that were told to you since you were a child, and those nursery rhymes about living happily ever after. You are the only person who can make a permanent and positive change in your self esteem. It doesn't matter if parents, brothers, sisters, or other relatives, teachers, friends didn't influence you as a teen. Making this change, excuse the dog, my husband's coming in the house from work. Sweet Pea, give me one moment. One moment. Joe, you're interrupting my YouTube. I'll give them a minute because I don't see this pause button on here. So let me get back to where we were. It doesn't matter if parents, brothers, sisters, other relatives, teachers, friends didn't influence you as a teen. Making this change will require a certain amount of commitment on your part. Why not let today be a start? You are bound to encounter what appears to be unpleasant facts about yourself. That's why I composed this poem. I hope it encourages you and helps. Ignoring facts that are inconvenient or uncomfortable will not make them less true unless you are willing to admit there is something wrong in your life. How do you plan on releasing that low self-esteem which is holding you back from making it through? It may seem to you as it once did to me that by giving up long held opinions and beliefs, you would lose friends and family. Think of yourself as a guided missile aimed at success. You are a winner, a champion, not a terrible mess. Remember, of all the judgments we make in our life about ourselves are the most important by far. You are beautiful, handsome, time to light up like a morning star. Build that self esteem. That was also written by myself, Patricia the Mask Poet, also known then as the Poetic Sister. So before I leave this live, I promised on yesterday's video when I was talking about my visit to the country style that I would bring and say about this skit that I did 2 weeks ago with my husband and a few other people at church called Shoes of the Church. I was planning on holding up each shoe, but since I'm on the live now, I'll go ahead on and do it. And I listed 5 shoes of the church. One was the sandal, number 2 was the slipper, number 3 was the sneaker, number 4 was the Sunday shoe, and number 5 was the work shoes, aka work boots. Number 1, the sandals. The sandals are the modern day skeleton Christians. They never grow and develop into well rounded Christians. They do not hunger and thirst after righteousness and seldom feed on the genuine meal of the word. They are unprofitable in the service of the Lord. Number 2, the slipper. The slippers, of course, there are slippers in the church. They are the ones who drop out for weeks at a time, then slip back in one Sunday and expect everyone to fall over themselves without needing a word of explanation. They have frequent periods of away time and still consider themselves loyal members. 3, the sneaker. The sneaker is the church member who sneaks around into everybody's affair. They sneak to the pastor with something to say about all the other members. Sneaks out on Saturday night, but sneak right on back into the church on Sunday morning as if nothing had happened. God will not use them in his work. Number 4, that old Sunday shoe. Sunday shoes are once a week Christians. On Sundays, they put on their Christian manner, and on the other day of the week, they act just like the worldly people around them. They appear for worship service on Sunday morning only on Sunday morning, and seldom ever come to church, not any other day. Last but not least was the work shoe. This is the active, hard working, dependable brothers and sisters who get the job done. Although in the ministry, they do the majority of the work, they are busy, but not too busy to take on another job. These shoes are the ones who keep the Lord's church functioning. These shoes will gain great rewards earthly and eternally for all their great work. These shoes give God their best. These shoes are always there for the pastor. And guess what? They never dry rot. So I went and shared that. Shoes of the church. I did not compose that back in when I was residing in Cartersville, Georgia. That was actually in one of the church's bulletin, and I took it and I did a skit with it there, and then I did a I no, it was in Marietta, Georgia, when I lived in Marietta, Georgia first. So that same skit, I end up using that skit in Cartersville, Georgia, and I used some people as I did recently here in Cedartown, Georgia. And what I did was I got a few people together, and you all can do it too. It's really good. We did it for a pastor's anniversary. I got a few people together and I told them, look, I got these 5 shoes. I want to do a skit, but you pick the skit. I mean, you pick the shoe. I didn't give them the shoe to pick because I told them, whatever shoe you pick, I want you to know I'm going to talk about that shoe. I won't be talking about you, but the particular shoe. So what they did, whether they were a sandal, a slipper, a sneaker, a Sunday shoe, or work shoe, they picked that shoe. So the day of the anniversary, when I called each shoe one at a time as they was walking down the middle row, I talked about it and they were shocked and it made it so cute. Especially recently, one of the young ladies, two, the young ladies, one was a sandal and she actually got up front and after I finished talking about those sandals and said they were unprofitable in the service of the Lord, I also ended it with, if the shoe fits, wear it. I said that after each shoe. She took her sandal off and said, my shoes don't fit. And then with the sneakers, as I was saying about their frequent periods of away time, one of the sisters in Christ said, oh, well, I didn't know you was going to say that. So if you want to use the skit, you go ahead on and use it and just make it funny because those shoes actually come to church every Sunday. With that being said, I'm going to end this particular live. And as always, I always say, I never say goodbye. I always say, see you later. Love you all. My husband just came in from work. Duke, do you want to say anything or you get on the next line? Do you want to speak? They can hear you. Just say hello. Hello. So he's in the background saying hello. So with that being said, you all take care. Stay hydrated with this heat. And once again, I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. I do not say goodbye. I say, see you later. Okay, see you later. Now I got to find how I stopped this yesterday. Same thing like I did yesterday. Let's see, how did I stop it? Oh, there it is. Here I come, Jane. I know they probably